So today's psychology chapter is language and communication. Quickly go and subscribe this channel for next sessions. Language and communication are the foundation of human interaction. They help us express thoughts, emotions, ideas and connect with others. Each visual in the series represents a specific aspect of learning and using language effectively. Let's go through step by step. Early language learning and everyday communication. First words, language begins. Shows a child speaking first words with a parent. This emphasizes early language acquisition, the first step in developing communication skills. It highlights that interaction starts at home and parental guidance is crucial. Learning alphabets. A teacher introducing letters to students. This represents basic literacy skills as the founder of reading, writing, and speaking. Vocabulary building. A child pointing at objects and naming them expands vocabulary, which is essential for effective expression and understanding. Everyday communication. Family talking at dinner demonstrates practical language use in daily life, teaching children how to communicate naturally. Writing skills practice. Student writing in a notebook highlights writing as a key skill, allowing thoughts to be organized and shared clearly. Thoughts turn into words. Cartoon brain with speech bubbles explains the cognitive process of transforming ideas into verbal expression, reinforcing the connection between thinking and speaking. Non-verbal communication. A child learning sign language emphasizes that communication is not just verbal. Gestures and signs are powerful tools, especially for inclusivity. Verbal communication. Two friends talking on the phone shows speaking skills and conversational flow, important in personal and professional interactions. Now, public speaking skills. Student giving a presentation introduces the concept of confident expression in front of an audience, a critical skill in education and career. Body language matters. People using gestures and facial expressions highlights nonverbal clues like posture, facial expressions, and hand movements, which often communicate more than words. Reading, listening, and expressive skills. Reading aloud improves speech. Child reading a picture book aloud demonstrates that reading aloud improves pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. Pronunciation practice. Cartoon mouth articulating letters focuses on correct pronunciation, essential for clear communication. Effective communication in teams. Group discussion in class highlights collaborative communication skills, teamwork, and idea sharing. Listening skills. Child attentively listening to a story emphasizes that listening is a core part of communication, enabling understanding and response. Express your ideas. Thought bubble turning into text shows how internal thoughts are converted into structured words, critical for clarity. Learning through play. Children using games to communicate illustrates that fun activities enhance language learning, especially in young learners. Curiosity boosts learning. Student asking question to teacher demonstrates active engagement, where questioning strengthens understanding. Brain and language connection. Cartoon brain lighting up explains how language processing happens in the brain, linking cognitive development with communication skills. Digital communication. Friends chatting online highlights modern texting, messaging, and digital expression, an essential 21st century skill. Boost your confidence. Child speaking confidently in class shows that confidence enhances clarity, helping others understand your message. Sentence structure, formal communication, and thought expression. Learning sentence structure. Teacher showing sentences on board emphasizes understanding grammar and structure, which improves clarity in speaking and writing. Formal communication skills. Person using email shows professional writing skills, formal tone, and etiquette. Cognitive process of language. Brain processing words highlights how the mind organizes, recalls, and structures language before expressing it. Speak and listen effectively. Mouth and ear icons reinforces the two-way nature of communication, requiring both speaking and attentive listening. Practice clear communication. Children playing telephone game demonstrates how practice and repetition improve clarity and understanding. Learning new words daily. Child with flashcards encourages habitual vocabulary expansion, critical for language mastery. Improve your accent. Teachers correcting a student pronunciation shows accent and clarity improvements, which help in confident communication. Transform thoughts to words. Thought cloud to speech bubble reinforces thinking before speaking and effective expression. Storytelling skills. Child narrating a story with gestures highlights narrative skills, imagination, and engagement in communication. Listening practice improves language. Student using headphones demonstrates active listening to improve comprehension and vocabulary. Digital communication, confidence, and group interaction. Express emotion digitally. Friends using emojis highlights expressing feelings in digital messages vital in online communication. Learn conversation flow. Teacher showing dialogue charts focus on how conversations have a structure, including greetings, questions, and responses. Speech clarity practice. Tongue twisters, fun exercises improve articulation, pronunciation, and confidence. Think before you speak, brain and mouth connected, encourages self-awareness and thoughtful communication, avoiding misunderstandings. Active listening in action. Friends giving feedback demonstrates listening with understanding, asking clarifying questions, and responding constructively. Collaborative communication, group idea sharing, shows the importance of discussion, teamwork, and respecting others' opinions. Writing communication skills. Person sending handwritten letter reinforces formal writing, clarity, and organization in text. Verbal and non-verbal. Diagram of verbal versus non-verbal clues highlights that body language complements speech. Practice makes perfect. Student rehearsing speech in mirror reinforces repetition and practice as keys to mastering communication. Language through fun. Child learning rhymes shows how songs and rhymes make learning interactive and engaging. Expressing ideas, role play, and memory. Express ideas clearly. Thought bubble to speech bubble in a meeting encourages a structured communication of thoughts. Role play helps learning. Friends acting out scenarios shows interactive role playing to improve speaking skills. Summarize and communicate. Student summarizing a story reinforces clarity, brevity, and understanding in communication. Enhance communication with body language. Gestures during storytelling highlights non-verbal communication, reinforcing verbal messages. Memory plus language. Flashcards for memorizing words shows link between memory techniques and language acquisition. Learn debate skills. Friends debating in class reinforces structured argumentation, persuasion, and confidence. Think before you type. A person reviewing messages before sending, showing digital etiquette and clarity in online communication. Conversation practice. Speech bubble sequence chart emphasizes dialogue flow and effective turn taking. Teach to learn better. Child teaching younger sibling shows peer teaching as a method to strengthen knowledge and skills. Pronounce clearly. Mouth practicing vowel sounds reinforces phonetics, clarity, and fluency. Now advanced communication, bilingual skills, and summary. Gestures make speech engaging. Storytelling with hand gestures highlights how gestures enhance engagement and understanding. Bilingual brain boost. Brain processing multiple languages shows cognitive benefits of learning multiple languages, improving flexibility and comprehension. Group practice helps. Students practicing speech in groups reinforces peer learning, interaction, and confidence. Fun reading improves fluency. Child reading comic aloud shows that fun reading activities increase fluency and vocabulary. Inclusive communication. Sign language practice emphasizes accessibility and inclusion in communication. Confidence in communication. Short speech on a stage demonstrates public speaking and self-assurance. Effective feedback. Mouth and ear with feedback loop highlights constructive feedback as part of effective communication. Interactive learning. Children sharing stories in a circle shows learning in groups and social interaction. Visualize your words. Thought bubbles for planning speech demonstrates planning and organizing thoughts before communication. Language and communication skills. Collage of reading, speaking, listening, and writing shows comprehensive mastery of all aspects of communication, summarizing the topic. So for next psychology session, please subscribe this channel.